And good afternoon, everybody. Can sorry about the delay. There's a slight slight technical hitch there. I forgot how to work my streaming software. It's been that long. It's been at least 3 days. Can you all hear me? Okay. Can you all hear me? Okay. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Awesome, awesome. Oh, hey, hope we got the whole glasses thing going on again. Right. Just hang on a minute. Let's just make that screen a little bit bigger. Right, awesome. Take my glasses off now. I can read. Right, so this is the first of many live streams that I'm going to be doing for you guys on the portal while the lockdown's in place. So if there's anything at all that you want me to cover, by all means put it in the thread for lockdown training. Look great. Do you like me? Do you like my new shirt? My Simply Diag shirt. I suppose now really we should spend the time and get some more merch going for the network members to buy. Hey up, who's it? Darren there. Why have you not got a? There you go. You've now got a moderator's sword. If you refresh your stream, mate, you should be a moderator now. You should have a blue sword. Not that we're going to need it in here. We're amongst friends. So the objective today is quite a lot of you have said that you're struggling with Alldata and wiring diagrams in general. I get a lot of tech support phone calls over using Alldata and that. So I thought we'd do a quick run through today. And hopefully give you a better insight into the powerful tools that Alldata and Heller are. This is an unlisted stream, so this won't be going public on my YouTube channel. The link at the top of the screen, paypal.me/simply diagnostics. Anything. Obviously, I'm not charging for this live stream. I'm not making anything on it. Anything at all that you donate to that PayPal account there from today onwards will go directly to either an SDN member that's struggling because of the pandemic, or to frontline workers that the community can choose. Well, we'll have a vote on it or something like that. If nobody in the community needs that help, we start the ball rolling with that. Steve from SY Diagnostics, he's one of our paid moderators and technical specialists on the community portal. Steve has actually donated his monthly fee towards the it's not a charity, but towards the community. So thank you very much, Steve from SY Diagnostics. He started the ball rolling. He's donated his entire monthly fee for this good cause. So yeah, so without further ado, we'll get on. Do you want to look at Alldata first, or do you want to look at Heller? Either. Right, okay. I'll tell you what we'll do then. We'll get rid of that there. There's a slight delay on the chat, so if for any reason it seems to be a little bit disjointed, there's probably about 30 seconds to a 1 minute delay. Right, so we'll go, without further ado, we'll go over onto the other screen. So you can see me. In fact, I can probably turn that off. I can turn my camera off. You don't need to look at me while we're watching this. So there's my camera gone. without further ado, just while we're here, for any of you that have got apprentices or that know people on the YT that do not that can't afford or do not want to pay to be part of the paid portal, we've actually got this part here where it says enter portal. If somebody basically goes to enter portal, it will take, and they're not logged in, it will take them to the public free section. So we go on there, and then we've got a public area for non-members and those that are waiting approval. So we can, we can also literally we can have our own threads. The people that aren't a paid subscriber, there is a public area that will be cleared out on a regular basis, but they can actually post in there. So you as members would really appreciate if you look where you're posting. This isn't an area for members to be posting. This is just for people that want just a basic interaction with us with no access to information, and for people while they're waiting for approval. So I just thought I'd point that out to you. So please avoid posting in this public section here. That is only for people waiting approval and for non-members. So this is Alldata here. God, I tell you what, I don't know how many people must have seen that login and password over the last few years. I have to keep changing it regular. I keep getting warning letters. So we'll sign in. So this is basically when you sign in. This is what you'll see with your Alldata. And then if you look at the top right, you'll see that you can either do it by year, month, etc. Okay, so year, month, manufacturer and engine, or well, it's year, manufacturer, model and then engine, or you can change it to platform. Now what happens there with the platform, there's a little bit more information. For example, now if we look at Nissan, okay, Nissan now is there. We click on that and it gives us a list of all the vehicles, but you can see here, you see the Terrano 2, so that's the R20. Let me just make that screen a little bit bigger so you can see it. You see the Terrano 2 and the X-Trail, the T30. You see how the font is slightly different than the J11 Qashqai? That means that Terrano 2 and that X-Trail, you will probably have to submit an info request for that. Whereas if I go into a Qashqai J11, that should be fully populated. Most things should have the information on there. Okay. And if I go, let's say I'll go into Ford, you can see everything in Ford. Most things are populated on Ford. And then we get to the Connect Taxi. That's the first one there that's in the italics and slightly greyed out. And then you do your Ford. So let's say we want a 2015 Ford. Then we can go, so that's 2015 model year, and here's the range. So let's say TDCI, and then it gives us a choice. Okay, so you see the year range 2014 to 2019, and it gives us two choices. Now if we compare that, if we go back to select by and click the year, month, year, make, model, yeah, we're going to 2015 Ford. So there's our focus again. You see the difference that it gets. Yeah, we've got a lot more. There's a lot more options. So if you want to simplify what you're looking at, use platform, which is in the top right. Yeah, and if you want all the choices, you go year, make, model, engine. Is that quite clear? That, yeah. Is that quite clear for you? I don't know whether my live chat's frozen there or not. Let's just yeah, my chat's frozen, I think. So we'll pop that out. Just bring that over there out of the way so I can. Yeah, my chat's misbehaving a little bit there. There's quite a lot of latency. Right, so back to this. And then also you can see on the right hand side, these are all your previous vehicles. Yeah, so let's just, I don't know, let's pick that there, 2010 Ford Mondeo 2-litre TDCi. Click on that. That's something that I've looked at before. Yeah, and you can see here it's brought up all the different things on the left hand side, and then different stuff in the system. So let's say, for example, I want to look at wiring diagrams, right? So we've got diagrams, we've got information and instructions. So if I click on that, it'll give you the glossary and the symbols and all that sort of thing. Top tip here, yeah, instead of clicking on that blue link, yeah, right click, yeah, and this will work in any browser, yeah, open link in new tab. And that then will put that in a new tab there, so you don't have to keep going backwards and forwards on your browser. So it tells you what all these things mean. So an inline connector, etc. So it gives you a glossary. And then if we go back to the previous tab, about the manual, right click, open in new tab. Yeah, it tells you what everything means. Okay, so like 5 there is your component name, your connector code, all that sort of thing, yeah. Colours. Yep, so like if you're looking at that, yeah, it gives you the potential. So G is for ground, yeah. V is a variable signal. R is a return or reference. Yeah, so there's all sorts of stuff in these codes here that will tell you what you're actually going to be able to see on the wires. Yeah, this is stuff that a lot of people miss out. They actually, you know, they don't look at this. They don't look at the you know, the wire codes and stuff like that, and it can give you an awful lot of information just on the wiring diagram. So then if we go back there now, so let's say I want a powertrain wiring diagram here, yeah, I can either go the long way round, yeah, which would be to type in the box there, powertrain, or I can go down to powertrain management. Then you can see we've got all sorts of things there. So powertrain management, immediately that brings me up description and operation, electrical OE, and inspection and diagnostic overview. So let's just click on components. Right, that now will give me literally all the components. Yeah, where they are. Yeah, where they are and what they are. And also, like if we look at the IAT, it's a temperature dependent resistor which has a negative temperature, so it's an NTC. It's telling us straight away it's an NTC. Yeah, it's supplied with a reference voltage by the PCM, so we know it's going to have a 5 volt reference. When the intake changes temperature, the resistance changes, changing the output voltage. Yeah, it tells us the math is hot. So there's a lot of information there, just in that little thing. Then if we go into electrical OE, it gives us 16 different options. Yeah, vehicles built from 2012. Okay, built up to 19th of the 8th 2012. So let's just take any, it doesn't matter. So let's just go there, engine control, and all the time here now, all the time here, the object of the exercise is to right click and open in a new tab. So here's our wiring diagram. Excuse me. You can see now this is at the top. It's electronic engine controls for a 2.5 litre Duratec. Well, we're not looking at a Duratec, we're looking at a diesel engine, aren't we? So we know straight away that wiring diagram is wrong. If we start looking at that wiring diagram, we're looking at the wrong vehicle, even though we've got the correct vehicle selected. Yeah, so always look at that and make sure that the diagram that you're looking at is actually relevant to the vehicle that you've selected. Okay, so let's try the next one. This is where the tab things comes in handy. That's the 2.3. And this is a lot of the are you following me? Are you following me so far? Yeah, again, this is the wrong one. This is the Duratec. Two litre TDCI. Yeah, okay. But if you also notice here, this is 85 kilowatt, 115 PS, and Euro 4. Okay, so we still don't know whether that's exactly the right one. Okay, so let's go to page 2. Let's try this one. That's the 1.6. .2. Yeah, so you've got to be very, very careful with what you're doing. So let's just go with this wiring diagram for now. So you can see it's very, very small and we can't really see anything. And we can also see that we've got sheet 1 and sheet 2, so it's a 2-part wiring diagram. Okay, so we can either do one of two things. We can either use our scroll wheel on our mouse, if you've got a scroll wheel on your mouse, and I can make it bigger like that and drag it around. Okay, or I can use this over here. This is our navigation thing over here, and I can press that stage by stage and then move me diagram to, if you click the left one, the diagram shifts right, and if you click the right one, the diagram shifts left. Or you can just literally get hold of it, left click your mouse and drag it down. Yeah, so let's just look at this now. Yeah, so what we seeing here, we've got our power distribution box, so that's going to be in our engine bay. Central junction box, APP, clutch, stop lamp, start cranking, glow plugs. Okay, so what we you know, let's say we were looking for cam sensor or something like that. It's clearly not on this sheet. Okay, so what we need to do then is go to sheet 2. And then what that does, that gives us our PCM and everything off it. So these are all the things coming into it on the left hand side from the previous drawing. So here we can see EGR, fuel pressure regulator, fuel metering valve, turbo actuator, throttle position sensor, exhaust gas, DPF pressure. And then on this side, IAT, rail, coolant temp, rail pressure, cam signal. So let's just look at our cam signal. Right, so we've got intake cam sensor here. Okay, straight away what we can see, which is the difference on Alldata and the other aftermarket stuff. Obviously Alldata's directly from, it's not rewritten, it's not redrawn, it's direct from the manufacturer. Yeah, so if we take it, we can immediately see on our sensor, it tells us that one there. Can you see the one that's here? Okay, that's pin 1. Immediately we need to be looking for a voltage reference, a reference voltage on pin 1. Pin 3 is our ground, pin 2 is our voltage out, so that will be our signal going back to the PCM. So there's our ground, there's our VREF, and there's our signal line. Immediately now, that, you know, that literally that shows us straight away what should be on those wires, which is the difference between, like I say, between Alldata and redrawn diagrams. Is that clear enough? And then what we've also got here, that 1E17706, what is that? So let's go back to our information that we had. It was on this one, wasn't it? Yeah, so 4 is our component name. You know, we can actually, so here, number 1, VMC40B. Okay, what's that gonna tell us? VE706A. Right. So V tells us it's a variable signal. E, engine transmission. What was it? Was it A? VE706A. 7, powertrain. What was O? 706A. I can't find that now. 7, 0. Where was 0? 7, 0. BE 706 and then a letter A. So 706 would be number 7, which is the wire color code. But we don't need the color code because we can actually see it would be a brown and blue BNBU. It's a brown and blue. Yeah, and if we click on that, it'll keep that wire highlighted for us. Okay, and if there's a path through a circuit, it will show us that. Yeah, and this then here, that's C1E, yeah, EC4, that's the connector on the PCM. Yeah, so it gives us connector face view, engine left hand view, engine right hand view. Okay, so let's look at that. and there's our pinout. Yeah, it tells us what wire colours are going in. Pretty cool. So let's go back to our wiring diagram. So let's say, for example, I want to follow this wire here. Okay, so this wire comes from fuse 2. You can see it, it's 5 amp or 10 amp, whatever it is. Yeah, we click on that wire and it will take us to the next splice. So we can see straight away there's a splice here. Yeah, and if I want to know where that is, I can click on that. Yeah, and it'll tell me what the affected systems are. View splice information, view affected systems. Yeah, and then after that, if I click on that part of the wire, so we can see there that comes from there, and it also goes to there, back in. Yeah, so we click on that wire there and then follow it down. We can see it goes to another splice. Yeah, then following that splice, then if we highlight it, it shows us then that goes to a connector. So wherever the line stops, that's where there's an interruption in the circuit or a joint. Okay, so if we go down to that connector, we can see, yeah, the connector number is C12, and the pin number is 4, pin number is 3, pin number is 2, pin number is 1. So we're looking for a 4-pin connector. Okay, we click on that, it'll give us the face view of it, and also it'll tell us where it is. So open link in new tab, C12E. Right, this is the problem now with Alldata as opposed to genuine manufacturers. We have to actually make it bigger, right? So it was C12, wasn't it? So where's C12? Can we see it there? C12E3. C12E3. Right, that's the wrong wiring diagram. That is. That's the wrong show for that. But normally it should tell us where we're going to go. Let's try this one. No, that's the same. That's wrong also. So yeah, it should work, but obviously this one clearly isn't doing. But then what we can see is, so we've got a four pin connector, and then that takes us down to our glow plugs. Yeah, and there's our connector number for where it goes onto the glow plug. Yeah, so there's an awful lot of information just in. But like even there, if we look at this, okay, so our cooling fan motor, yeah, it clearly shows there's our supply. Yeah, so if we want to know where our supply comes from, we click on it, and then we can follow that up. Yeah, it shows us an eyelet connector and an F5. Yeah, fuse 5. So it shows us where that supply is coming from, what colour the wire is. Yeah, PWM. So this is a control signal from the PCM. Yeah, Yeah, so we know there we've got a voltage input, we've got a PWM input, a PWM output, sorry, to the fan. Yeah, and then we've got our ground going to a splice here, because you look, the green only goes to there, and then it continues there. Then it gives us our ground point, denoted by a G. Yeah, and then it tells us front left wheel arch. Yeah, front left wheel arch. So it gives us a, you know, it gives us an awful lot of information. So they're the four diagrams. Okay, if we go back to component, another way we can look at this. Yeah, so that's how we went in there. We've also got our search box here. Okay, up in the top right. Let's just make that a little bit bigger for you. Yeah, so we've got our search box here. Yeah, so let's type camshaft. Yeah, and hit enter. So it gives us all that information, but the key thing is, if we look over here on the left hand side, there's nothing here that says electrical OE. Yeah, so in all those search results there, we are not going to find a wiring diagram. Okay, so let's try instead position. Yeah, you can see we've got 237 results here in grey, 237 results. We've only got one wiring diagram. Yeah, where's that wiring diagram gonna? So let's click on it and see what happens. Yeah, general wiring diagram. So nothing at all. Yeah, if we start looking for position sensors and stuff like that. So let's have a look for instead module. Yeah, electrical OE 40. What about if we type in powertrain? I'm using my gaming keyboard here. Powertrain control module. Yeah, electrical OE 1. Let's click on it and see what it does. It only gives us the general information. So the key for this is when we're looking for wiring diagrams, we don't want to be typing in the search box on certain manufacturers. Okay, we go to component, and we can see electrical OE straight away here, so we know that they're the wiring diagrams. Or we can go down, we can scroll down, we can go to powertrain management. Yeah, it will give us electrical OE. We can find wiring diagrams. If we go to computer and control system, no wiring diagrams. Okay, if we go to camshaft position sensor, no wiring diagrams, but we have got removal and replacement. Okay, relays and modules. Yeah, refine, search further at the assembly level. This is the assembly level. So let's go here, sensors and switches. Yep, computer control systems. And then again, APP, nothing. Component test, removal and replacement. So we have to go up to the top of the tree, which is here, powertrain management. And that's where we find our wiring diagrams. Yeah, let's take another one. Let's look at cooling system. Okay, let's say we want to look at the fan. Again, we've got water pump, heater core, radiator, radiator cooling fan. Remove and replacement, nothing. If I click on engine cooling and exhaust, yeah, it just says refine, further at the search, you know, so it wants more. So we're not going to find any wiring diagrams in there, so we don't need to look there. Powertrain management is where we're going to find it. Okay. Relays and modules. Yeah, body and frame, brakes and traction control. We're going to, you know, we're going to be lucky. What we need to be looking for is the words electrical OE. Then we go on to vehicle. Click electrical OE. We only get the generic stuff. Body and frame. Yeah, we only get the generic stuff. Accessories and optional equipment. So let's go for keyless entry module. Yeah, nothing at all. So then we would have to, so let's say we want, I don't know, anything. Let's look at heater. Yeah, electrical OE. There's 3 diagrams or 3 things that come up. Yeah, cabin heater. Yeah, electrical booster heater. That'll bring us a wiring diagram up. Yeah, so that's basically that's how it is on Ford. So let's look at another vehicle. Let's go for, let's see. Let's go 2005 Mercedes-Benz E-Class. Rick, yeah, mate, it will. Yeah, it'll be available to watch afterwards. So, have you all got that so far with using the wiring diagrams and the search and all that sort of thing? Are you all good with what we've got so far? Awesome, brilliant. Right, yeah, so there's about a 30-second delay there. So Mercedes-Benz, a little bit different again. So we try the same thing. Let's type in camshaft into the search box, top right. Right. You see that on the Ford, when we type camshaft into the search box, it didn't bring any electrical wiring diagrams up. But on the Benz, it has. It's brought us 2 up. Let's have a look what they are. Yeah. So it tells us here. So we've got fuel delivery and air induction, electrical OE. Yeah, you can see here we've got a 03, the number's the same, we've got a 03T and a 03TX. We don't, at the moment, we don't know which one is the one that we want. Okay, so what we need to do is right click on that, open a new tab. Alan, it is easy, mate. I mean, I've been using this for years. It is easy once you get used to it. So straight away you'll notice that the layout is completely different to how it was on Ford. Okay, so it gives us components. Yeah, and can you see here, like on these components, it like that one, it says Y77-1. Okay. N39. Yeah, and it tells us what these components are. So Y77-1, boost pressure positioner, right? So let's say I know that the boost I'm looking for is Y77-1. What happens if we just put that in there? Let's have a look. So let's put Y77/1. Let's see what comes up. Yeah, electrical diagram instructions. Yeah. So we can use our component codes and it will also bring the stuff up that we need. So Y77.1. Okay, but that's all it's giving us. Yeah. So it's not a wiring diagram, is it? It is, if you can see here, a function diagram. Okay. Yeah, so all that's showing us is where things are. Yeah, so where does it actually live? And again, we've got we can make it bigger, so it shows you where it is on the diagram, where it is on the engine. So when people say I don't know where this sensor is and that's where your function diagrams come in, and it tells you exactly what each sensor does and the component code. So what do we, how do we work with this now? Yeah, how do we actually work with this now? You see there now, Y77.1, it came up, electrical OE, engine control. Yeah, so let's click on that and see what happens. The key thing here is electrical OE. Yeah, powertrain management, electrical OE, vehicles built from the 8th 2012. Let's have a look. That was my Ford one, wasn't it? Oh, we're still in the Ford Mondeo there, that's why. Right, so component. Let's go down to powertrain management, electrical OE, function schematic. Here we go, wiring diagram. Yeah, this is the diagram number here. Okay, so let's right click on that, open link in new tab. You'll notice that again, like I say, the bend stuff, it's all in PDF form, but look, I can't read that unless I cock my head on the side. What I can do, right click, rotate clockwise. Yeah, and then that gives me all my stuff. So we were looking at Y77.1, weren't we? Yeah, so there's Y77.1. Boost pressure position sensor. Well, it's not a boost pressure positioner, is it? It's a boost pressure sensor. So there's my component code. That's obviously translated wrong, but the important thing here is on this side here. Can you see it? Where it says 35L, that is the actual position on the wiring diagram that you will find that component. So if we scroll down, we rotate it clockwise again. Right, so everything, so all the numbers, right? So we're looking for 35 here. Yeah, so keep scrolling down. 34, 35, it's right on the join, but there it is. And then if we go to the next page, it'll be here. Okay, so what's that showing me? 1543. So it's right on the join. Yeah. So what we can do is rotate clockwise again. It's a bit of faffing about. Yeah, but there's our Y77.1. Okay. So we can see straight away we've got a brown there and a brown on the next component over with a Z connector, right? That's a Z connect. There's a connection there. We can find that afterwards. So we've got a splice there, yeah, going to pin 2, and then if we go down to, so you can see here 35, yeah. If we go down, there's pin 3, pin 4, pin 5, pin 1. Yeah, so we've got a red, green, also going to a Z connector. Yeah, to Y10-1, through Y10-1, and then back up to N39. Well, that's going to be a control module, isn't it? So we've got a shared there on pin 1, and we've also got a shared on pin 2. Yeah, so what does that tell us? You can see there's no wire going to pin 5 and no wire going to pin 3. So this is probably going to be a 3-pin connector, yeah, or a 5-pin with only 3 pins connected, yeah. So one is going to be a voltage reference, isn't it? And that one is going to be a ground, or that one's going to be a voltage reference, and that's going to be a ground. But red green, that will be a voltage reference. So there's your VREF on pin 1. There's your ground on pin 2, and your output will be on pin 4. Let's take another component. So let's look for camshaft position sensor. Right, so you can see I can scroll up and down here, but another quick tip, if I hit the control key, yeah, control and F, it brings up another search box here up at the top, yeah, and if I type in there camshaft, you can see I've got 1 of 1, and it automatically highlights it for me. Yeah, so my camshaft sensor is B61. Yeah, that's the component code, B61, camshaft sensor, position 25L. So to recap, yeah, control and F, that opens up the inbox search. We can type camshaft in, and it finds it for us straight away. So position 25L, B61. So let's go and have a look at that. 25, B61, there's our cam sensor straight away. Yeah, 3-pin sensor. So we've got a brown green, a yellow grey, and a red violet. Any guesses on what's going to be on those wires? Any guesses what's going to be on those wires? Yeah, on a Benz. The red violet's probably going to be your VREF. Your brown green is probably going to be your ground, and your yellow grey is probably going to be your signal on that one. But you can see these wiring diagrams, they're meant here so you print them out and then cut them and stick them all together using sellotape. So let's look for something else. Let's look for temperature. Yeah, so I just put temper, typed in temper there. Yeah, didn't even have to finish the word off, and we can see we've got 8 results, 1 out of 8. Okay, the first one is oil temperature sensor. Click down. Result 2 is coolant temp, charge air temp, yeah, cat temperature, IAT again, fuel temp sensor. Okay, so let's say we want to look at the coolant temp. Yeah, its component code is B114 and its position is 16L on the diagram. So all we're looking for, and you'll notice there your codes, your component codes, W is always a ground. Okay, yeah, and your Z connections normally, so like terminal 15, yeah, circuit 87, don't forget them. Yeah, so 16L we're looking for. So we go to 16. Here's 16. It's upside down, isn't it? Yeah, so right click, rotate clockwise. Here's 16 over here. B11.4, there's my temperature sensor. Right, we've got a green red going back to the PCM. And then we've got a wire going off here on pin 1, right? 0.5 brown red. Where do you think that's going to? Yeah, it's a temperature sensor, so it's a thermistor. Where do you think pin 1 is going to go to? Any ideas? This 30 seconds is a long 30 seconds. We've got a 2-wire temperature sensor. Where do you think one goes back to the PCM? Where's the other one going to go? Let's have a look. So we scroll down, right? So we can see there it's a brown red. So we scroll back down. We're going to have to rotate this again. I don't know why they've done that, to be honest. They're not normally that bad. So there's my brown red. There's my brown red coming in. Right, again, it's right on the join, isn't it? Yeah, B11.4, brown red. It's going there. There's it. So it's shared with that one, B11.4 shared with B50. But look here, Z connector Z743. Okay. Yeah, we can't. It's right there. You can just see it. So if we go back up to the list, Z743. Was it Z743? Z743. So it tells us, what is it? It's a ground. Yeah, so let's say we've got a coolant temp fault or something like that, or we've got a temperature fault with 2. Okay, so Z743. Okay, so what we need to do now is, if we go back, because we didn't, because we right clicked, okay, we can type in here Z connector. Let's see if it gives us anything. Oh, look at, there you go. Yeah, so it tells us location and assignment. Okay, it's in the engine, isn't it? Yeah, yeah, it's on the engine, so it's chances are it's going to be on one of these, isn't it? Yeah, so open link in new tab. Come on. Right, so we can that one page is still loading. This one's coming up with that, so it must be a big document. Right, so we can either scroll down, yeah, or we can use our Control F function again. So Control F, and then we want Z 7 / 4, nothing. Okay, so this isn't the document that we want. We'll just scroll down just to make sure. See, it doesn't go up to Z, so we know that's the wrong document. So we can go on this one now, and we can use Control F the same. Control F. We want Z7 forward. There's 14 references to that, so let's see if there's a number 4. There you go, Z743. Yeah, it tells us it controls the control unit, camshaft hole sensor, pressure sensor, manifold. Right, so let's have a look where it is on the picture. It's there. Can you see it straight away? So it actually shows us where the ground is straight away. So it's on that side of the engine bay. Yeah, and the arrow pointing down that way, so it's somewhere here. So it makes it quite easy, you know, it makes it quite easy to follow. So let's have a look at another vehicle. Let's just reset that. Yeah, let's have a look at another vehicle. Let's go for vehicle. This time we'll go platform. Let's have a look for Volkswagen. Let's say Golf 4. No, let's go Golf 5. Golf 5, let's say 1.6 FSI 2008 BLF engine. Okay. You see how if we go onto platform, it's a lot quicker and easier rather than year, make, manufacture, engine. Yeah, it would, mate, Alan. You're right. Yeah. So again, we've got electrical OE. We can just go straight away. We've got the left-hand side. What we've got here. Basic equipment. So straight away, if we want anything in engine or lights or anything like that, we don't have to go anywhere else. We can just go basic equipment. Opening right tab. Yeah. Starter, alternator. So all our power supplies. Yeah, fresh air relay. You can see these are different wiring diagrams again, different, you know, different way of looking at things. Turn signals, all that sort of stuff. Fog lamps. Yeah, so that gives us our basic equipment one straight away. What happens if we go to them? Power and ground distribution. Yeah, you notice how it gives us grounding points. Yeah, ground location straight away. If we're looking for a bad ground, we've got our earth points. Right click, open a new tab. Yeah, so it tells you, you know, it literally shows you where they are. Where's your earth points? It's pretty cool. And go to powertrain, electrical OE, fault finding. Okay, see how it only says fault finding programs there. If we go into computers and control systems, it'll give us electrical OE again. This is what we're looking for all the time. It's electrical OE. There's our BLF engine. Right click, open a new tab. Right, so this is diagram number 166. You can see the diagrams are completely different. Let's say I'm looking for, I can either scroll down, let's say I'm looking for my camshaft. Yeah, what I don't want to do is start typing camshaft in that search box there, because that now will take me, straight the way back to where I've been. I don't want that. What I want to do is Control F, that opens this little box up here, yeah, and I can type in there camshaft. Yeah, immediately you can see camshaft control valve. It start. I don't even have to complete the word. Yeah, there's only two references for camshaft there. Okay, so let's have a look for something else. What else can we look for? Let's look for crankshaft. Alright, so if we type crankshaft in, you heard the bleep. We can't look for that. So let's for engine speed sensor. Right, so you notice here straight away, so it highlighted it, so all I typed in was engine and S. Can you see that? Yeah, and I've got my engine speed sensor component code G28. It's an active hyperlink. Yeah, if I click on that, it should highlight it. There you go. Should highlight it, and we can see there yeah, there's my G28. Pin 1, 2, 3, it gives me a 3-pin sensor. Brown, black, red and yellow. Right. So what do you think my brown wire is going to be? It's going to be my ground, isn't it? Yeah. My black red's going to be my power supply, and my yellow wire is going to be my signal back. Let's have a look. If we want a G62, let's highlight my G62. Is there straight away. Okay. So I can see it's 2-wire. So one's coming from the PCM. Yeah, and then the other one, the brown wire, is going down to 220. What's 220? It tells me here, earth connection in engine wiring harness. So it actually tells me what's on the, so literally I know straight away what I'm looking for. So let's say I have a fault with the G299, which is IAT2, and G62, which is my coolant temp sensor. Let's say I've got circuit fault for both of those, or a voltage high code. Yeah, the first thing I'm going to do is what's common. What am I looking for that's common? This wire is not common to this sensor and this sensor, but this wire is. Yeah, and this wire is. They're common to both sensors, and it goes to 220, the earth connection in the engine wiring harness. Yeah, so then I need to know where that is, don't I? Yeah, so then I go back to me ground point locations. Let's say, for example, I want to look for something else. Let's go Volkswagen brake pressure sensor. Okay, I know the component code for that should be, brake pressure sensor should be G201, I think. So G201. Let's see if it'll find it. Right, electrical OE. It might not give us anything there. No, components. High pressure sensor. No, so it's not giving us that. So I might be wrong on that component code. Brake pressure. Brake pressure. Yeah. Oh, there you go. No, that's the servo sensor. That's 295. It might not give it me because it's an internal component. Let's have a look. Right, so there you go. So ABS, wiring diagrams, yeah, electronic differential lock. Let's click on it. Let's see what we got. Yeah, so again there we've got a million pages. What can we do? Control F. Yeah, and then all we have to type is G2O lateral acceleration sensor, yaw rate sensor. I'm going to put the 1 in, G2O on brake pressure sender. There it is, and it's highlighted. It's an internal component. Yeah, so a non-user serviceable component. So straight away, just by using the wiring diagram, we know that it's integral to the ABS ECU. We don't need to go looking for it, do we? Yeah. If we've got a brake pressure sensor fault, there's nothing we can actually do with that. If we've got no other fault codes and just a high brake pressure reading, we know that that sensor's faulty. No further testing required. So, is there anything else you want to ask me on Alldata? Is there anything else you want to ask me on Alldata? What cup have I got today? I've got my Snap-on cup today. I had my Oscar one yesterday. Anything else you want me to ask? You want me to explain on Alldata? Find out common 5-volt references in PCM. That might be a little bit different, mate. A little bit difficult, to be honest. Some you can, some you can't. Some you can't, some you can't. So what we would need to do, let's go right back up to the top. So let's type in Control F. Let's go back to that other screen. Yeah, so let's go to Control F. And let's type up there. Let's type VREF. Right, so nothing there. So what about ref? Voltage regulator, C1. No, so nothing there. So let's go for 3-pin. Let's have a look for something 3-pin on here. Right, so you can see, like, so our crankshaft sensor here, G28. Yeah, that's showing an independent supply. Let's see, brake, so G294. That's a pressure sensor. That should have a right. So what we can see there, 327 is the earth connection, so these are all the shared earth. Yeah, and then going back up to there, it just shows it going straight back to J623 engine control unit. So we're not going to be able to see anything on the Volkswagen that's got a common supply on the manufacturer's diagram, but on other makes you can. On other makes you'll be able to see it. So let's say if we go, so that's 83 and 37. Yeah, there's no easy way to find it on the Volkswagens using the Volkswagen diagrams. So let's go back to component. I don't think power and ground will have anything. No. Electrical OE. What's in that one there? I don't normally use fault finding. No, nothing. Sensors and switches. Mind you, this is a limited engine. This hasn't even got a camshaft position sensor, so let's try a different vehicle. Let's go for BMW. 5 Series. Not an E39, you pillock. Let's go for an E60. So let's say 535D. For that one. Powertrain management. You see it all follows the same thing, electrical OE. Engine speed acquisition. Blah, 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 blah. So let's have a look at that. Yeah, so it gives us RPM. But again, no shared VREF. Computers and control systems. See nothing there. But if we go up one to powertrain management, we've got electrical OE. Boost pressure, all sort of things. So let's say there. This is another one that's split up. So rail pressure control, 2-wire rail pressure sensor. $31, so that's our ground. Shows us connector view. And where it is, which connector it is. Pin assignment. Yeah, so it'll actually tell us here. So voltage supply. So let's have a look. Camshaft sensor ground, pin 14. Voltage, there you go, voltage supply, pin 39. Crankshaft position RPM sensor. Pin 62, signal from crankshaft, so that one doesn't have a shared power supply. But it literally, it gives, you know, it gives you everything there straight out your, you know, your pinouts. And then if we go back to components, you know, literally, then we can also look at technical service bulletins if there are any. Yeah, so there's never a massive amount on BMW. You always seem to find the emissions ones and stuff like that. Battery master switch, service interval, service booklets, service sheets, all that sort of stuff. Connector views. So that's your list of connectors once you've found it. Description and operation. So let's say we want to look at delivery control valve. Description operation of that. Yeah. So we want to know how something works. We're looking for description and operation. Yeah. So we've got a high duty factor. Yeah. And high current. We've got low pressure build up and low flow. We've got a low duty cycle, low current, high pressure and high flow into the high side. Yeah. So what does that tell us? What's going to happen if we disconnect that delivery control valve? Is it going to default to high pressure or is it going to default to low pressure? And we disconnect that valve, what's going to happen? It's going to default to high pressure, isn't it? Because there's low current. If it's disconnected, you know, low current is zero current, isn't it? Yeah, and it was also, you know, it's also going to it's also telling us there what DTCs we might get. So let's have a look for something else. Let's have a look for selecting my lever cannot move. Let's have a look at that. What's that one tell us? Yeah, so it's telling us what components or what fault codes could be entered and what it is. Yeah, it's all sorts of information in here that you can just, you know, you can just sort of find out. So let's go for, I don't know, let's engine cooling and exhaust. Cooling system. Straight away, electrical OE. Cooling system, electrical OE. And it takes us to the amp and the beams and everything, you know, the low beam, high beam and all that. Let's just have a look here. Right click, open a new tab. So it shows us the fan, the fuse, which fuse it is, what rating it is, the fan, the radiator shutter solenoid, coolant temp sensor, X13. So 60 amps, so that's our main feed into the fan. Yeah, and it shows us that the cooling fan is controlled by the PCM or DDE in BMW's case. Yeah, what colour the wires are. So that's a permanent feed. That will be a permanent ground. Yeah. So this yellow red here, yeah, that's going to be P. I would imagine that'll be PWM, wouldn't it? So let's have a look at that connector. Yeah, so that's where it is. Yeah, X1797. Connector view. Gives us pin out and everything. So, how did you find that? How are you finding that? We've been going now, what, an hour and a half? Have you found that? I hope you found that really interesting. I don't know what the delay is with the chat. The chat seems pretty dead, but I hope you found it really interesting. We're going an hour and a half now, so I'm not going to go on to Hella. What I might do is today's Tuesday, so Thursday, I'll do another one with Hella. We'll do another unlisted live stream. So I hope you found it really interesting. Like I say, if you want to send anything, if you want to make a voluntary donation to the PayPal there, so paypal.me Simply Diagnostics. Any donation that you make there will go towards community members that are suffering as a result of the pandemic, or a frontline worker, something like that. So I really hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks to everybody that will watch this later. This will not be available to view to the public. This is an STN community video. So please don't share the link outside of the community, because that devalues the money that you've paid to be members. But yeah, it'll be there once it's uploaded, and that it'll be there for everybody to look at later on today. So thanks for watching. You're awesome, and stay safe. If you're still working, remember, do your social distancing and all that. Yeah, brilliant. Thanks for watching. You're awesome.